The story is set sometime in the near future, where a Chinese-owned refinery in Iraq is under attack by rebels. A team of special forces are tasked with escorting civilians out and along the highway of death to Baghdad's green zone. Fronting that group is the formidable dragon Luo, who finds out that among the civilians in the refinery is his estranged daughter. Meanwhile, ex-Marine Chris is haunted by the memory of his father. He needs money to repair the water system for the village he lives in, but similarly knows that the man responsible for the deaths of his father and several squad mates happens to be on the bus convoy headed by Luo. Chris hires a group of mercenaries, whom he gives amusing nicknames to, and sets out to attack the convoy and get his revenge. However, this is all one big setup and Chris finds himself unwittingly teaming up with Luo to face a common enemy. Chris pulls off the desert heist, using a modified truck with a jet engine attached to the back to simulate a man-made sandstorm. He kidnaps some of Luo's soldiers and heads back to base. However, Chris has been duped. Owen is the real mastermind behind everything. He wants to wipe the company out as he's jealous of them getting everything and he has nothing. He's taking the war private to get revenge. Chris wants no part of that. His stake is that he wants justice to be served and also money to provide water for his village. Owen is running everything for Unicorp, so Chris and Luo work together to get their people back and stop Owen. Chris and his deceased brother used to work for their father as private contractors. They were all special ops. After being ambushed that night in the village, Luo and Chris work together to storm the oil refinery and stop Owen once and for all. Oh, and bring their people back as well? Driving the truck armed with a jet engine, they head into the base and a big fight ensues. Chris and Luo both fight their way through the various goons, working together and using their strengths. They work their way into the control room, dispatching Skullface and freeing the hostages. With Owen heading out to the DMZ, Chris follows in hot pursuit with May, who shows up in Chris' car to find Luo. May drives, awkwardly, while Chris directs her. While this is going on, back at the refinery, Luo fights Skullface. After defeating Skullface, Professor Chang shows up with big news. Owen's group have broken the dongle and he can't shut the refinery down. It's all up to Chris now to try and stop Owen once and for all. He drives with May, but when the latter crashes the car, Luo shows up in the jet engine truck. They all ride together, straight into the tankers. A chain reaction then takes place, as the trucks hilariously topple into each other like some video game glitch, flying in the air, tipping upside down and eventually smashing into Owen's group. Owen survives the carnage, but Chris is hellbent on getting revenge. As Owen leaves on a desert buggy, our heroes use their jet engine rigger to zoom through the desert, colliding with Owen's buggy and straight off a cliff. Thankfully, Luo and May manage to survive. May sees that Luo has the other side of the torn photograph shown earlier in the movie, depicting May and her mother. Now I understand, May says, as she reconciles her differences with her father. Chris survived too, as he happens to be hanging on the cliff. They make it to the ledge, but they're stuck for now, calling out for help.